What's going on, people? Face the red here. Yeah, today, by the way, my voice is messed up at the moment, but I'm gonna give it my best shot. I want to talk a little bit about Douglas Costa. Douglas Costa of Bayern Munich, who there's a bit of talk about him in the press today. He's fallen out of favour at Bayern Munich. Ancelotti doesn't play him so much. I think he started about 14-15 games for Bayern this year. Robben and Ribery have been favoured, and Kingsley Coman, so he's kind of been put on the bench a lot. He's not happy with that. That's what reports are saying. He is a quality player as well. It's difficult because all of their wingers are quality. Robben is still sick despite being kind of old now, but it's a tough decision, and supposedly they'd fallen out anyway. He's fallen out with the manager. Once that happens, your time looks like it's up. Douglas Costa. So reports are saying that what are they saying? Juventus have supposedly tabled a bid of 21 million, allegedly. United's paper talk. I'm not sure if I believe that, but Juventus have got a good relations with Bayern Munich. They do a lot of business. Arturo Vidal, Kingsley Coman as well. Bayern bought Kingsley Coman, so there is a bit of history there in terms of them doing business together. So probably they could strike a deal, and it's the kind of person Juventus would probably sign. Juventus are quite shrewd in the transfer market, and when they see a bargain, they'll take advantage. They know what they're doing in the transfer market, so I could see them trying to get him. Honestly, what do I think about United? Because they're saying United are interested as well. I don't know, because Mourinho said he's already given a list of players he wants a couple months back. Would Douglas Costa be on that list a couple months back? I don't know, but obviously it's not like that list is probably said and done. Maybe Mourinho will come forward and say, yeah, let's get involved if he sees a player could be sold, or there's a chance, because he does jump in sometimes. Look at Willian. Signed Willian and Willian was on his way to Tottenham. He's pretty much on the plane there and shit. He snuck in and took him last minute, so he does do that. So what do I think of Douglas Costa? I rate him. I really rate him very highly. I think he's a quality player. I'm actually amazed that, not amazed, it's a strong word. I'd say that I'm surprised that they're even willing to listen to offers for him. He must have really fallen out with the manager for that to happen. I think he's a quality player, man. Quality player. I've rated him. I'm not trying to big myself up too much, but I've rated him for many years since he was a kid. I remember him at, I think it was Grêmio in Brazil. He was a hot talent as a kid. Hot talent. And I saw highlights of him and stuff, and I really liked him. I thought, yeah, he's a special talent. If you see him when he was 17, you can see he stood out a mile. And in fact, a lot of people don't even know it, but United actually, they took note, and he actually went on trial at Man United. Facts. He went on trial at Man United, and I think it was a week trial or whatever it was, but he went there, training ground, and Ferguson was interested. He was interested, but I believe he wanted him on loan. Either he wanted him on loan, or he said extend the trial, or something along those lines. Now, do you know what? I think he said a year-long loan. I think I remember him saying it was a year-long. He wanted a loan, and Grêmio or his agent were like, I think Grêmio were like, no. If you want him, you pay for him and you buy him. He's not a player. He's not a loan player. He's a guy that you sign or you don't sign. Basically saying that Douglas Costa, because remember, loans were not as in fashion back then as they were now. Now people get loaned left, right and centre. You could be a big name and still get loaned. back then loans were for the sidemen. You get me? Like a sideman in your squad, a player who isn't getting in a team, or is a kid, and you might want him to get experience. No top players are getting loaned, but they felt, although he was a kid, he was too big a star now, or too highly rated to be a loan player, and they felt, you have to make a bid or not. Fergie wasn't 100%. He wasn't 100% on it. Probably, if I'm honest, I reckon he's been burnt a bit with Brazilian players. Brazilian players can be unpredictable. A lot of them are hot talents when they're kids, and when they get older, a lot of them just don't seem. It's like they get a bit of money and they're not as hungry anymore. That's what I've noticed with some of the Brazilian players. Some of them you can understand it, because if you're from, I don't know, if you're one of the Brazilian players from the favelas or the slums, and you start getting paid, getting money, you're like, yeah, I made it. I can treat my family and whatnot. So you get me, I'm good now. But I don't know his background. I'm not saying all Brazilians are from the slums, because that's definitely not the case. But quite a lot of the footballers, the ballers, Brazilian ballers, are from a tough background. So yeah, I mean, that could have, I don't know, man. But Douglas Costa, and what was I saying, man? I always do this, I go off topic. Basically, what I'm trying to say is, United, we've tried to sign Brazilian players. Yeah, I'm just giving an example of Brazilian players in general. Like, look at Robinho, highly rated kid, and he continued to be a good player up till maybe about 26, 27, and he starts slipping. Looking at Man United, Kleberson, signed Kleberson, flopped. Yeah, the big one, Anderson was so highly rated as a youngster, signed him, big hopes for him, you get me, and didn't happen for whatever reason. But he never looked like the player that we thought we were getting. Never. At one point, he had a couple little flashes, but he never really looked like the player we thought we were going to get, which is probably why I reckon Ferguson was playing it safe with Douglas Costa. He wanted a loan to make sure he was the player he thought he was, and he didn't risk it for that reason, I believe. So Douglas Costa left Gremio and went to Shakhtar. Shakhtar, killed it at Shakhtar. I remember when he was at Shakhtar, I used to watch him play, and I was he was with a couple other Brazilians who were sick. Again, another guy who just wasted his career, bruv. These Alex Teixeira, get me, sick player as well. Left like 25, 26 at his peak and went to China, and no one's heard of him like anymore. I don't know what he's doing. He could have gone to Liverpool. I don't know what's wrong with these guys. Tyson's there. So yeah, there was a Brazilian, the holy trinity of Brazilian players there, killing it. Douglas Costa stood out. I remember Dario Cherna, the was it right back? I think it's Croatian right back, wing back, was saying that Douglas Costa is a star. He's an absolute star. It's a matter of time before he goes to a bigger club. So yeah, Douglas Costa was always highly rated. Left Shakhtar, went to Bayern for quite a low price considering how good he was. Did well at Bayern, and now under Ancelotti he's struggling to make the team, and looks like he's falling out of favour. He's 26 years old. Should we get him? If we can get him at a good price, I think we should get him. I honestly think we should get him. He's a player I really, really, really rate, man. He's not the most fashionable name out there right now, because how it is. Once a name goes out there and everyone's talking about it, everyone wants him. Like, who are the fashionable guys right now? The guys, there's always someone. Probably Mbappe is the guy right now in terms of like who's the one on everyone's lips. If you ask the fans who do they want, there's a certain list of players. Mbappe, you get me, like the Monaco Dons right now, like Bernardo Silva, you get me, Bakayoko, like the fashionable names right now. There's always people out there, man. Funny enough, Bernardo Silva's just gone to City. Actually, I literally was just reading it about 10 minutes ago on Sky Sports for 43 mil allegedly. Decent signing, to be fair. Don't know how they're gonna fit David Silva, De Bruyne and Bernardo Silva in one team. Maybe there's a slight lack of pace there as well, but he suits the Guardiola style, and you know, that's technique, and he's definitely got that. Decent signing there for them. Should we get Douglas Costa? Yes, I believe we should. If it is true that Juventus are bidding 21 mil, whatever, I think, you know, we can bump that up to 30 mil. If we can get him for 30 mil, I'll be happy with that, man, because he's a good player to have. Provide competition for places, and I believe we need a right winger. I think it would be good. I'd say I think it would be good to have a right winger who can cut in, who's a left-footed right winger. It would be nice to have that, because we don't actually. We have Mata, yes, but Mata, he's not got any pace. Let's be honest, he's not got any pace, and I actually don't believe Mata should be in the starting team anymore, especially as a wide man or whatever, introverted winger slash. I don't think Mata is good enough for a top quality team. We're not a top quality team yet, but if we have ambitions to be one, a lot of players are gonna have to be benched, or squad players that are good players, but they're not top players. They're not the kind of players that you will see in your Real Madrids, your Bayern Munichs, probably even your Barças, the top teams. And if we want to be there, we got to have players that are going to reflect that. Douglas Costa, the balance will be better with someone like him there, and it will provide competition for places. Mkhitaryan's there, Douglas Costa, Martial's very inconsistent, but you know, we need competition for places, and we need top players, and Douglas Costa is one. And if he's available at a reasonable price, I think he's the kind of player that we probably should be considering. Would we go for him? I don't know. I could see Juventus or someone of that ilk go for him. Maybe even PSG, because PSG are gonna supposedly sell Di Maria. Don't think he's had his moments there, but I don't think the fans have taken to Di Maria for some reason. And if they sell Di Maria, I could see them getting someone like Douglas Costa. Who knows? But anyway, I think we should consider Douglas Costa, definitely. Yeah, man. Anyway, again, I always do this. I talk for too long. I go off topic, but you know my style. Word to Big Tobes, you know my style. Don't act like you don't know my style. Anyway, that's what I do, just off the cuff. So anyway, people, man, let me know your thoughts on Douglas Costa. Do you rate him? What do you think about him? Do you think he's someone we should sign? Let me know, man. Face the red. I'm out. Peace.